Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to us, we hope it is good. Welcome to another amazing episode of Geeks Who Like Sports, episode number 19. Holy cow, I can't believe we're that far along, but we are, and it is fantastic. It has been an amazing 19 weeks. As always, I am Ray Carcillo. 19 weeks with my best buddy in the whole world over in Philadelphia, Lee Elias. Lee, how are you doing today?
Ray, I'm really excited that in 2 more episodes we'll become legal. And
yes.
We can officially drink on the... No, I'm just kidding. We can't. Ray, I'm doing good. I just got back from a week-long trip in northwestern British Columbia. For those of you that are geographically challenged, I was near Alaska. That's what you need to know. Yeah. All right. In the beautiful forest aboriginal area of Kitimat, I was doing a documentary on hockey with the local First Nation there called the Haisla Nation. And that segues into the mug that I have today. They gave me this nice mug, and it made it all the way back from British Columbia across the country on 3 flights and 18 hours of total travel, which shows you that I really do love hockey quite a bit. But I did want to say that wonderful people, not anything to do with Geeks Who Like Sports, really, but it's sports, the sports side of it. But that's the mug I'm drinking out of today. A little bit jet lagged, but it doesn't really work because you're in the Pacific time, which is where I was, and you're up at 5 a.m., and I'm not. So keep going. Segue me out of this, please.
Yeah. Yes, I was up very, very early. It is a lovely mug if you're watching on YouTube. I, too, have a new mug. Last week, of course, I was doing Grand Theft Auto. This week, I am drinking from my Penny Arcade mug.
That's a nice one.
It is a nice mug. And you know what, Lee, the next time we have a numbered episode, we're going to have some fun stuff between now and then. Actually, that's not true. We're going to have an episode. I just realized we're going to have an episode before, but our 21st episode will be our PAX episode. Oh,
look at that. That's true. Well, that's a nice one. Now that I've made something out of it being 21, we can joke about that in Seattle. Hopefully none of those people heard this show. Real side note here. Penny Arcade mug there, Ray. How long do we have to wait before arcades become retro and cool to bring back? Because I would love to take my son to an actual arcade. I know they exist. I do know they exist. But it's hard to find one where the games are still $0.25 or 50 cents and not $7 for 15 seconds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's the thing, is that like a lot of the arcades they're gimmicky now. They're like a Dave and Buster's, or like it's a barcade, so you can't bring your son because there's alcohol served there.
Yeah.
So
I just want to play Afterburner, man. I just want to play Afterburner again with the big moving console.
Yeah, I mean, they're hopefully. I mean, I know obviously, like you said, they still exist. They're just few and far between.
Yeah, it's tough to find.
Without a gimmick, and like you said, obviously, Dave and Buster's very expensive, fun but very expensive. So yeah, I mean, I think we're getting closer and closer to that point. I think the advent of the barcade definitely is getting us closer to making arcades a cool, fun thing again.
Well, and we're seeing a lot of retro games come back out, like on Switch and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, like. Here's the thing. I don't know if you remember the game Afterburner, but, for those of you who are too young, it was an arcade game, and it was pretty much an F-15, F-16, whatever. I forgot the jet in it. Yes. And the thing would move. Like, it made you feel like you were flying. And I'm thinking, like, my 5-year-old would love that just as much as I did.
Yeah. No, for sure.
You know what I mean? He's not going to be like, oh, this CGI graphics are bad. No, he's going to be like, this is awesome. Anyway, thought of the day. When can we bring back arcades and make them profitable? 2037.
So before we get into a little more gaming stuff, just a housekeeping, we mentioned Penny Arcade. We are 10 days away from our Penny Arcade panel, our PAX Prime, PAX West panel up in Seattle. So if you guys are in the Seattle area, be sure to swing by. It's 9:30 at night on Friday. It should be a lot of fun. We have some great guests, Gordon Bellamy, Duncan Stanley, Mel Kirk. It's going to be a fun time, so come on down if you are in the Seattle area not this coming Friday, the Friday after, August 30th.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're excited to be there. I'm looking forward to another cross-country flight.
Hey, man, you just got to come to the West Coast. West Coast, best coast.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say. We don't necessarily know if it's true, but that is what they say.
That's what they say.
But if you want to talk about a really long flight, some of the longest flights I've ever been on was when I went and used to cover Gamescom in Germany.
That's right.
Which is the largest video game convention in the world. Literally 100,000 people plus go through the doors every day it is happening. And as we are recording this on Tuesday, August 20th, it is the first official day of Gamescom 2019. Lots of great stuff happened yesterday in terms of announcements. Lee, I love this show. It was one of my favorite shows. Obviously, anytime you get to go overseas to do something that was something you're related to and love. Obviously, you just mentioned you were up in British Columbia. Anytime you get to travel and do something you love, I think it's two great things coming together, and that's what Gamescom was for me for many years. So
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really privileged in the sports side to travel all over the world. I've been throughout Europe, obviously, and England, and as you said, the west coast of the Canadian side, not so much LA. But look, you're right. I mean, there's something about, like I said, it was an 18-hour trip for me. To Germany for you is pretty far. You've also been to Asia,
Yep.
So it's one of those things of, it makes it worth it when you're with people you care about or you're going to something you care about. And especially when it comes to Gamescom. I mean, like I think you told me this, right, too. It's kind of like the after Comic-Con type next level event, correct? And it's not one that gets as much, I guess, press because there's not as many releases, but it is a celebration on a much larger scale of games. And I think the international flair, this is something I've noticed, like doing a convention outside the U.S. is a very different feel.
Yes.
No matter what it's sports, games, whatever. Because first off, you have the global feel of it because people come from everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then B is that it's just a different atmosphere. It's not so much onus on what's getting released and who's coming out. It's just you can enjoy the time there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's also cool because you realize just how much it brings us all together because everybody here, especially in Gamescom, it's the Europe E3, right? It's all of Europe. So you get people from all over Europe, also like North Africa and Asia coming to this convention, and you kind of just realize we all just love games. That's something I really loved about that show. And so so that's going on right now. It was one of my favorite shows of the year in Cologne, Germany. I mean, another great thing, it's so big they have a press section of the con and they have a public section so that like you have two booths, but so that this way the public can kind of just enjoy and not worry about press having to cut line to get to appointments and stuff. And press can kind of not worry about, oh, am I going to make it to my next appointment? How am I going to get through the crowd? They can kind of just go and do their job. So it's really, it's the best of both worlds for the public and the press. And of course, it's just a big celebration of games. And there was a lot to celebrate yesterday. I don't know if you saw some of the news that came out of Germany, but several games are coming to the Switch, including a surprise release of Super Hot. Are you familiar with Super Hot, Lee?
No, I want you to enlighten me, though.
Super Hot is basically, first off, it started off as a VR game.
Wait, is that like Icy Hot, if I'm mixing the sports world into this?
No.
I didn't think so. That was all I could think of.
Super Hot is kind of like The Matrix. And like when it started off as a VR game, and when your character moved, everything else in the world moved. But when you stopped, you can kind of take a moment to learn and analyze your situation.
Like the environment, like Max Payne.
Exactly, it's It's the Matrix. It's bullet time, but it's a first person immersive. And it was a huge hit when it came out. It's now dropped yesterday on the Switch.
Wow.
$25. It's definitely worth it if you get it, if you have a few extra bucks lying around. I played it personally on Xbox One, but I know people swear by it in VR because obviously it's even more immersive.
Yeah.
Ori and the Blind Forest, originally an Xbox One exclusive, now coming to the Switch. And I think that this is a big deal because you're starting to see, especially with Microsoft, like with working together with the Switch, where you can play Minecraft and other certain games between the Nintendo and the Xbox, that the old console wars are kind of over.
Yeah, they're dying out.
I mean, you could be the PlayStation and Microsoft, there's still some animosity, but I think because the Switch kind of fills that handheld market now, the other two are kind of like, all right, yeah, you get an Xbox, or you get a PlayStation, and you get a Switch.
Yeah, a Switch. Yeah, I can see how that's starting to play out. What's interesting about Switch, and you could probably give a little bit more of a detailed history, but when the Wii U was out, as you mentioned before, like Nintendo was really in trouble. Mm-hmm. It was not a hit. People didn't like it, but you can see that I think you said this actually, the mistakes they made, they kind of learned from that, and that went heavily into the Switch production. And we have a Switch here, obviously. Ray donated it by giving it to as a gift to my son. But I remember having this conversation with you about a year ago about, I love it, but hey, I need some games on this thing that I want to play. And you're starting to see that now. So it just seems like the industry kind of took their time with Nintendo and said, like, let's just see where this goes. And it's definitely going the right direction. And like you said, for the first time, I imagine this is a lot like when people started getting two televisions in their house for the first time.
Right.
You have two consoles. But here's the deal. Look, we're about 10, 15 years kind of past the height of the console wars, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, that's 10 to 15 years more people coming into video games. I mean, and all of them are. And that now you have a legit probably 50-year-old to kind of 45-year-old down market, which is 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. 20 years ago, you're talking 30 and down. You know what I mean? So, and then when you look at, and I'm just talking about the industry here, you look at the industry, e-gaming, everything, like you said, they have a press box at this Gamescom. Right. It's just you're seeing now the next level of this total immersion. And we talked about this in the previous episode with cable about to die. Like there's something happening here. Like we're at a crux or something like that. I almost feel like it's when like the iPhone came out and changed the game. Yeah. But it's as you said, like the competition now, there's enough room for everybody. Like people are buying two consoles, right? You can't take your Xbox with you right now. And I don't think Xbox or PlayStation, Microsoft or PlayStation, Sony, want to jump into that market right now because especially PlayStation's failed already in that market.
Yes, they failed twice with the PSP and the Vita.
Right, and then to my knowledge, I mean, Microsoft is not they're not going to focus on that. They have other digital products outside of the Xbox.
I mean, the closest they have is like their laptop. Like, they're like, well, if you want a PC game, we have gaming laptops. Like that's the closest they have.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. Like Microsoft prides itself. The Xbox is not meant to be a mobile system right now. I'll put it that way. It's meant to be a hardcore, heavy duty, computing system, and that's what it is, right? Yeah. And we're probably a few years away. And that doesn't take anything away from Switch. I'm not trying to take anything away from Switch with that. But where I'm going with all this is, like you said, I think it's important what you said. Yeah, there's a Switch right there. Ray has a Switch going across the screen. The versatility of the Switch, it really did combine, like I said, the iPhone. It combined a lot of different technologies that were not working into one that does work. It's brilliant the way you can take it with you. I had it on the trip. Travis and I were playing Mario Kart 8, which was fun. Travis is my co-host on another show that I do. So I love that games are coming there. I've told you this before. There are many sports games that I would like to have on the Switch right now. And, partly I don't want to because I'd probably not do my work. But, I want it because it's like it's time. It's ready to go. It clearly can handle these games. Yes. Right? So it's going to be interesting to see what Nintendo does. I almost feel like they're waiting too long, though. I just don't understand the delay, if it's the developers or what. But, I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, you are starting to see more people. It is taking a while. I think the Wii U made a lot of third-party developers a little gun-shy.
Sure.
You saw that with Ubisoft and EA and Activision, who were early adopters of the Wii U and then saw their games flop on the system because the system flopped overall.
Yeah.
I think Ubisoft and Activision are starting to come back a little more quickly. EA has been a little more gun-shy. I think that they will get there, but I think what's also hurting them is that now a lot of companies are also starting to think already for Xbox Scarlet and PS5.
Sure.
They have these dev kits. So I think there's a lot of behind the scenes transition. There's a lot of behind the scenes changes, and hopefully that when they start making games for those systems, that they won't forget about the Switch either.
Well, let me ask you this question, right? This is me asking you as not a game expert, and I don't know if anybody has the answer for this, right? Why don't I have Star Wars on Switch? Why don't I have Madden on Switch, NHL 20 on Switch? Like, I don't want to. I know what you're saying about developers being shy, but I don't understand. Is there some sort of long-term play that it's like they want to keep me on the console? Because, like I said, I don't think it's that the Switch can't handle the game, right?
No, it's definitely not that. I mean, like you just all those you just mentioned, those are all EA games.
Yeah, I know.
And I wonder if it's just, I don't know if it's something that EA has a problem with Nintendo. If EA
maybe they're pissed off.
I mean,
what was the last EA release on? Have they even released a Nintendo game?
Not in a while.
Yeah, I mean, long time, right? I'm thinking back to like Super NES now.
Well, no, I mean they had stuff on like the Wii U. They had a couple of things.
Did they?
They did.
I would like to see it. EA, if you're listening to this, I'm ready.
Yeah, and I think actually, if I'm not incorrect, I think FIFA was on the Switch. I think they finally brought FIFA to the Switch. So I think it's just a matter of
which isn't a small deal. That I should say that to give them credit. FIFA's a big game. That's not a small game.
And FIFA's their biggest game because in terms of worldwide market. And I wonder if it's just a matter of they don't feel necessarily that Madden and NHL are worth it because they're mostly American audiences or North American audiences, I should say. So I mean, they probably look at their numbers, and it's cost. You know how this is as a businessman, cost benefit analysis, right? So
I totally get it. It's just like this is where I'm at. I wonder if I'm just one of the only people like this, but it's like what I find is with my console games, I need a quick story. I need it to move quickly. Now I'm unique. Like that's not what the consoles are built for. They're built for long gameplay, and I get that. But it's like I've got 2 kids. You know, it's like I get to play my consoles kind of at night, and I usually get an hour or 2. It's just not that lot. Now, when I'm on an 18-hour flight, joking aside, like, you know, I could play some of these games on Switch. Now, and some people will say, look, there are games like that, and I know, but I'm saying that what about the games I want to play over the course of that? But again, I might be the extreme minority with that, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but
no, I mean, I think because you mentioned it also as the audience gets older, most folks, they have families, they have jobs, they don't have the gaming time they once had, and that's why you are seeing. That's why you saw the rise in episodic games for a little while. Those were so good because they were an hour and a half each one, each episode. And I think that what you're starting to see is that most game companies, especially indie games, like indies realize that their bread and butter is if they make a shorter, compelling experience, that's how they're going to get noticed by a lot of the older gamers. I mean, I will say, and like you mentioned, I'm playing Fire Emblem right now. I'm 45 hours into it, so there are those long games as well on the Switch. And you know, we're drinking tea. By the way, you'll like this, Lee. In Fire Emblem, you know how the best way you get you bolster your relationships in Fire Emblem, you have a tea party. You have a tea party.
Yeah, so, I'm playing the game called Fire Children, which is real life. It's like a really real life experience. And it's funny because like the first few years, you know how you bond, you get thrown up on, and then you don't kill them, right? That's how you start. And then they get older and they're like, hey, Dad, let's play Pokemon Go. And I'm like, yeah, son, let's go out there. Let's go find a Whalmer. And then, you know, that's happening a lot. I'm not going to talk about it because I think I feel like we've talked about it in the last 3 episodes. But I'm just saying, we're pretty immersed in Pokemon here still, bud. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, you're going to really love November then when Sword and Shield comes out.
I am excited about that. Yeah, again, we'll talk about that in a future episode because I feel like I've tapped on that a lot. But the only thing I'll tell you is this: I was a little too old for Pokemon when it came out. Mm-hmm. Like what I mean, I just didn't get into it. I just didn't get into it in time. I was already into hockey and stuff like that. But it's kind of fun to get into it now with my son, and hopefully my daughter in a couple of years. She's still a little young, but anyway. Moving back to this, the Switch, and you know, I think it's a good topic for another episode is the gaming wars. I think we should really research that, and maybe even give a little history on that because, like, you and I have lived through the height of
I mean, what Sega
funny.
Does, Nintendo don't. Like,
yeah.
Remember? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's just.
I love the Power Glove.
Yeah, no.
The best movie that everyone hates. I love that movie.
I know.
The Wizard.
It was good. I mean, but so it's the gaming wars is definitely a subject we should definitely touch on in the future because it is a critical part of gaming history, and I think that it's fair to say that they're pretty much done with now.
Yeah, I think we should just go to Germany right now, Ray. Let's just end the podcast. We'll get on a plane. We'll go to Germany. I have my passport ready. You know what? I mean, we should do it.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 3 days of game. By the time we get there, there'll still be 3 days left of Gamescom, so we'll be in good shape.
If not, we'll just go hang out in Germany and have some steins of tea.
Yeah, I will say that. I mean, because Cologne is West Germany. Cologne is. I mean, it feels like Western Europe in general, right?
Yeah.
So it's so much great food, and the people are great. And there's this amazing cathedral in the center of town. Absolutely love Cologne, Germany, especially when you're there for Gamescom.
So next year, okay, now we're going to Star Wars Land. We're going to Cologne.
Cologne. We got lots of places to go to in the next year or so.
We got to get up to those 10,000 listeners an episode real soon.
Yes, we're getting there. Little by little. And of course, as always, we appreciate everybody who shares and listens to the show as the Facebook page. We're very, very always humbled by the numbers and the response. We have to say that every time because it's true. It's true. Other good stuff from Gamescom, interesting stuff. Insomniac Games was bought and acquired by Sony. That is official now.
Oh, wow.
They mostly made Sony games over the years anyway, so this isn't very shocking.
Yeah. It's a friendly acquisition.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Microsoft did the same thing at E3, announcing a lot of the studios they acquired. It's usually studios that you typically, if they lean towards one publisher or console, it makes sense in today's world for them to just kind of be acquired by that first party.
Yeah, Ray, I'm telling you, the gaming world is changing. You're starting to see this again. How many computer companies were there in 2000? You know what I mean?
So many.
There's a ton, right? You have Apple, you have Dell, you have HP, you have Microsoft. I mean, it just goes on. Yeah, Gateway. I mean, there's other ones I'm forgetting about, right?
Yeah.
And then you started to see them kind of eat each other alive. Right now, what
Right.
we have is we have Mac and Microsoft.
PC, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. We don't even say the names of the PCs anymore. You know? So like you're starting to see that the unification, and I think you're going to start to see. I mean, they already exist, but you're going to start to see some real parent company power. I mean, people would say it's Microsoft and PlayStation, but I'm saying you're going to start to see some real power now.
Yeah.
All right. And again, not that they don't have power. I'm just talking about like untouchable Titan level. Like the giants of the gaming industry are about to emerge, and they're going to eat everything up. You're going to have like the telecoms and the AT&T and stuff like that.
No, exactly. It's gonna. You have the big three, but it's gonna truly be the big three. A lot of these developers, these smaller developers, I think are just gonna join the big three and become a branch under that umbrella of Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo.
I'm telling you, we are just scratching the surface. People, it's funny when I talk business with people and I tell them like esports, and they just don't get it. I'm like, they're building stadiums. They're building stadiums and selling them out. This is not small.
I mean, the Overwatch
that's
League.
just
I was in Burbank the other day. The Overwatch League, people standing outside to go inside and just watch people play Overwatch. Like it's just,
it's incredible,
it's unbelievable.
I'm invested in it. Like it's like anyway, we'll see what happens with that.
I'll have to say, speaking of that, I have to say this because I can't stand him on the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast for ESPN. But Jessica Mendoza and Alex Rodriguez were bashing eSports this past Sunday because A-Rod is like, I mean, nobody's going outside and playing anymore. What's with all this eSports stuff? This eSports stuff is terrible for our kids.
Horrible.
And it's like, no, our kids are making the money that you were making as a professional ball player playing video games.
Yes. Here's the other thing, too. Remember that sound clip, because that's going to be played in 20 years of, like, a bonehead. It's like when Bryant Gumbel was making fun of the internet.
Yeah,
www.
With the circle around it?
Like that. Now he's still around too, unfortunately. But things like that. It's just like, look, it's going to evolve, man. Here's you want the real truth, A-Rod? I want to get real critical now. Now you pissed me off. All right.
Yeah.
You want the real truth? You know how hard it is for someone in youth sports to play right now because of how expensive and stupid it is, right? You know why they're not playing baseball? Because it's expensive to play on a good team. Now, everybody says, oh, you can just go outside and play. Yeah, okay, maybe you can play on your high school team. Maybe you can play on a youth team. The truth is this. If you want to get really into youth sports now, you have to have a stupid amount of money, or you have to have so much talent that someone's going to just take you up, right? So, like, give me a break with that. Everyone can play video games. You know why? Because I can't believe I'm saying this. It's actually somewhat affordable, all right?
Yeah.
All right, because I'll tell you right now, I can get an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Switch, 10 games for each. I still don't meet my dues for youth sports.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just ignorance in my mind. Like, you know, I'm heavily into hockey. I'm doing a lot of initiatives right now. I'm not going to get into them that are bringing hockey to people that can't afford it because a $300 stick is just not an option for the kid who can't afford to play.
And that's a game console.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a game console right there.
Right? And hours and hours of fun. So here's the truth. You want your kids to go outside? I'm with you. All right? I want my kids to exercise too. Figure out a new way to make it work in your day. Okay. Like I said, I bring my kids to the gym with me. They see me working out. That's how you get your kids to get involved. You know what? If they don't, they don't. If they're good at something, triple down on it. Okay? If they love video games, make sure they love it. You and I got told every freaking day growing up, and I love my parents. You love your parents. You're watching too much TV. You're playing too much games. Well, we literally live it now.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know why? Because, and I'm not trying to insult anyone listening to the show, okay? But you and I just never back down.
No.
Okay, we just would not stop. Okay, no. And the thing is that some people did, and I feel bad for them because if you're listening to this and you loved games as a kid and you tailored off. Now again, if you're doing crappy in school because of it, that's one thing. All right, I'm not right. You know, like Ray and I still went to school.
Right? I mean we both graduated. Yeah, I graduated cum laude. Like I mean, we both still achieved.
We're academics too. Okay, but my point is this: is if you love something, oh, there it is. Wow, I forgot all about. I have one of those somewhere.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
We'll tell you about the golden microphones in the
all I have is a Boba Fett. I'm just going to show that just to have something back. No, but my point is this. If you're passionate about something, I was passionate about hockey. Ray's passionate about games, comics. We're obviously both passionate about nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, that's what I want my kids to do. My kid loves Legos. I help him with the Legos. Yeah. All right? If he doesn't want to play Legos in 2 years, fine. I want him to understand if you're passionate about something and you work at it, you get better at it. So anyway, A-Rod, shut up.
What else is new? A-Rod said something stupid. What else is new?
Like, I'm just going to say this. The greatest athlete to become a broadcaster in recent years is Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Okay? What do they call him? Romadonis, whatever. Tony,
Yeah, because he calls the plays before they
he's
happen.
Awesome. He's humble about it, too. Like, I don't... What's with this e-game? How disconnected can you be saying something stupid like that on national TV?
Yeah.
What's with all this e-gaming?
you had Booga just win $3 million for playing Fortnite.
I want to say that again. $3 million. And then the kid who came in like second or third is bawling his eyes out because he only made 900,000. And it wasn't even about the money. He was just upset that he lost.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's competition. It's still competition. And you can still learn a lot of great things from games. You can still learn critical thinking skills. You can still learn teamwork and all that other stuff. I mean, there's still good things to give. And again, and to your point, I mean, yeah, my mom still doesn't get how I'm making a living off of doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, my mom either, but she supports me. I know your mom supports you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes,
yeah.
My mom
I'm not saying you
didn't
say it, but I'm just saying that if you love something, you got to do what you got to do to survive. You got to go to school. You can't just give up everything, okay? But you also got to pursue your dreams. And like I said, I'm not trying to turn this into a motivational speech, which I do sometimes as well. But that's the difference, all right? Ray and I were told this every day. You'll never make a life in hockey. You'll never make a life in games, comics, Star Wars. Guess what? We're doing that now.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, right? Guess what happened? You know, so and now it's one of the biggest industries in the world.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's a good transition point.
So talking about boneheaded sports people. A big thing that we wanted to talk about because it's all over the news. Of course, It's football season, football preseason. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about Antonio Brown and the drama that continues to happen surrounding him and the Oakland soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders. The dude got his feet frostbite because he tried to do cryotherapy. He refuses to play without his old helmet. The dude has been nothing but, in my opinion, a toxic distraction to a team, the last team in the world that needs something like this.
Yeah.
They're part of Hard Knocks. Obviously, John Gruden, a very highly touted $10 million a year contract in the second year of that.
Worth it, too.
Can Derek Carr bounce back? They went out and gave draft picks up to get Brown, who now the Steelers look like they're geniuses now for giving up Antonio Brown to the Raiders. Lee, tell me, as a person who coaches football, as a person who, from the athletic side, what do you think of Brown and just this distraction that he's causing for the Oakland Raiders? Yeah,
there's so many levels to this that I have to comment on. You hit the nail on the head with the word distraction. Okay, so this is just a massive distraction. But let's take a step back for 1 second. So here's one thing we have to remember. It's technically still off-season, preseason right now. Okay, so stories like this get blown way out of proportion typically. I'm not saying this one is, okay? But it's like there's nothing much to talk about. So this is something that's a bigger story than it is. Now, I want to go into his situation before I talk about the coaching side. So this is what kills me. If he was trying to get a safer helmet, I would have actually been 100% with him on this. All right, I would have been like, you know what, it's your head. I get it. You're taking a stand for player rights. But he doesn't want a newer helmet. He wants to wear an older helmet.
Yeah.
Right? That's beyond, I think, the 10-year mark.
Yes, it's been proven that it is no longer efficient at protecting one's head.
So that's number one. Number two is he's arguing that Tom Brady had a clause that allowed him to wear a helmet for another year. Like an older helmet.
Which is not true.
Right. Okay. And then the other thing, too, is that it's like the way he's presenting this is that he's not being treated fairly. Now, here's the thing on the situation, okay, is it blows my mind that he believes, and it's funny, right, because I kind of want to take his side, but, like, I can't now. In the beginning, I kind of got it, but I can't now because it's like you're not going to beat the NFL who just went through 10 years of hell with CTE and head problems. They are not going to back off on this, all right? No. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them from a business point. I don't blame them from a safety point. All right, that's number one. Number two is the Raiders have been unbelievably accommodating to him during this time period, right? Like they really haven't caused problems. Gruden has been very positive about it, or he hasn't spoken about it, right? Yeah.
Although the GM did come out.
The GM did. I know. I saw the video. All right, but my point is like up until that, they've been pretty like, okay, look, we'll work this out. They've tried to do everything they can. Now we're starting to hear things like about buyout clauses and trades, which is really ridiculous of a player of that. Keep in mind, too, last March, Brown was talking about, I was mixed Al Davis in my head there for a minute, but there was just this talk about how they're going to be great together and the Raiders are going to be powerful again, and now it's like, what are we doing here? And then, like you said, the cryo thing. So this is where I reverse it, okay? If I'm Gruden, if I'm the coach of this team, like it is a massive distraction. I'm going to start ignoring it now because and Bill Belichick is the best at this too. He's not there. He's not there. I can't coach what's not there. So I'm going to have to coach this team without him. He does not make up the whole team. All right. So I do not like the point that the story is becoming bigger than the team. That's the problem that I have. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the Raiders have done everything they can for him. Now we're starting to approach that. Like maybe you are a prima donna now. Mm-hmm. Maybe you are a problem if this is where we're at. Yeah. I got to reiterate, if it was a newer helmet that was not sanctioned, I would have a different tune. It's an older helmet.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, and to go back to the Tom Brady thing, also Aaron Rodgers came out. They both complained. They also complained and said, "Listen, we're not happy about this, but the rules are the rules. Like we have to adhere by them." Like Brady said, he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting used to it." He's like, "What else am I gonna do? I'm not gonna not play over this."
And I'm not gonna even say it's just a helmet. Like I get it. At that level, you want to feel right. I get it.
It's a comfort thing, for sure.
Okay, and I always tell people in pro sports, if it makes you 0.5% more comfortable or better, that's a big deal in pro sports. Okay, whether you like it or not, when you're at that level. Every little minute thing matters, okay?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't get this. The other thing, too, is quarterbacks better not complain about anything right now. They have it easier than they've ever had it. Can't even look at a quarterback without getting a roughing the quarterback penalty.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to say this again. I think Gruden's being really cool about it. I think he's being smart. I'm actually reading this great book called Gridiron Genius by Lombardi. And he talks about Belichick. It's like when the season ends, like literally the day after the Super Bowl. I mean, it's amazing how cold he gets. Like he doesn't care. He's like, he's got to make a team. Everyone's expendable.
Yeah.
Except for Brady. But you know what I mean? Like one day that'll happen. But like this dude, like they made the moves. GM made the moves. The GM's the one who's really embarrassed. Not Gruden. Gruden's got to coach the team. He can't focus on guys that aren't there. He can't make plays. I guarantee you, they have already started working like he's not going to be there this season. Yeah. But like if he does something stupid like sit out much longer, I mean, you're looking like a fool, man. You're looking like a fool. And I want to support you. I do, but I can't.
This dude, he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. Like, why are you going to throw away some of the best years of your career over something stupid like this?
That's because he doesn't want to back down. It's just him versus the league.
Yeah,
it's just you're not going to win that one. You're not.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like a Colin Kaepernick thing where you're trying to make a statement about something in society. It's like, dude, it's just they're trying to protect you literally from yourself. Like,
no one's going to be on your side here. I just, again, if there's other stuff out there that I'm missing, I want to know about it. I don't get it. I just don't get what's going on here. This literally seems like a stubborn situation now.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. That's not what's good for the team. It's distracting to your teammates. It's distracting to the mission. You're literally hogging Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I mean, he appealed to the league. The league turned him down. Yeah. He appealed to the league again. Like, what do you do? Dude, they already told you no.
Yeah, it's not a winnable battle. So it just makes me think that, okay, you're just trying to do this to show off to the league, and it's to show up the league, and you're not going to win a safety issue with the league. You're expendable. You are completely expendable in the eyes of the NFL over their safety issue.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll tell you right. Go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry.
The only thing that I think also possibly, because we mentioned the cryo thing very briefly.
Yeah.
Is I wonder if he's making this stink over the helmets because to distract from the cryo thing, because I think his feet might be hurt more than he's letting.
Maybe, man. NFL's
that's the only
interesting.
The only kind of a conspiracy theory from his camp to try and give him the benefit of the doubt that he's just not this stupid. Yeah. Because I mean, he's already stupid enough that he basically gave his feet frostbite by not wearing the proper socks and a cryotherapy thing.
He did give his feet frostbite. I mean, got frostbite, just a very low level of it.
Yeah.
Look, this whole thing is disrespectful to the team. It's disrespectful to your teammates, to your coach. Okay, again, there is not a good reason here, from my estimation, unless I'm missing something. None of this is good. Again, more safety, I would have been for. If the NFL wasn't allowing you to wear a safer helmet, I would be 100%. Everyone would be on your side. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think people realize with the NFL how close they came to having a real issue here. Now, people say they have problems. Now, let me tell you this, okay, about their safety issue. When this CTE stuff came out, youth participation in football dropped so dramatically that it was an extinct level event if they didn't fix it. Meaning that there would be no NFL in 20 years because no one would play football anymore. And people think I'm crazy with that. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
All right. Youth participation in football dropped so hard when that happened that they would not have enough football players to field the league. You can tell me that people would do it. Oh, there's always people that are going to play. I'm telling you that was such a story that the levels were so low. The NFL had to do something. They did.
Yeah.
To give them credit. I mean, it took them way too long, but they did.
I mean, you were having guys retire after a year of playing professional football just because they're like, I'm worried about my head.
Yeah.
I made $3 million on my rookie contract. I'm going to go invest that now. I'm good.
Smart.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Think
like
about
guys
that.
who are like legit. The San Francisco 49ers literally had like 3 guys leave. Oh, like after not only after Harbaugh left, but also because they're like, yeah, we're worried about our head. We're worried about our head. Like it's something that could affect the rest of my life, the quality of my life, shorten my life. Like,
I think they also saw what was happening to the guys, Bushi and everybody. I think Bruschi, excuse me, that were Teddy Bruschi, right? I'm saying his name wrong.
Teddy
Bruschi. I was saying it right.
Yeah.
Okay. They're seeing what these guys are going through, and I think if you get a deep look into it,
he just had, I think, his 3rd stroke.
Yeah.
I think, and he's like 45, 50 years old.
Yeah. This is my point. You guys are seeing it, and it's not worth it. You know.
And even older guys. I mean, Jim McMahon from the Bears. He has it's basically Alzheimer's. Like he doesn't know who he is or where he's at most of the time.
How about Junior Seau, man? Like what he did. All right, like, so my point is, eyes are open.
Yeah.
The NFL did what they had to do, and they're still doing it. There's a lot of research going into better helmets. I'm seeing it at the youth level as well. This is a stupid tabloid story. I think, Ray, you're probably not off with the feet thing. You might actually have some water there. You might actually be right with that. But I'm telling you as a coach that from a coaching perspective, Gruden's doing it right. He's ignoring it. He's moving forward without him. He is not the whole team. And then from an Antonio standpoint, dude, if you're not in that lineup that first game, if you're not back soon, I mean, you've just cost Raider Nation another problem. And it's like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, it's time for them to turn it around and play well. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Especially
too much of a
diehard
move
to Vegas. Like, I mean, there's a lot. Like,
this is ridiculous. This is just stupid and ridiculous. And I don't see too much of this stuff around the other 31 teams, right?
No.
Like, this is such a tabloid thing. It's stupid.
No, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. People are grasping for straws right now in terms of covering football. Like, the 2 other big stories in the NFL, Tom Brady is trying to sell his house. Oh. Like, because people are like, oh, is Tom Brady being traded? It's like, no, he's selling his house.
Tom Brady being traded?
Yeah, no. Like,
I had to deal with the Eagles talking about signing Kaepernick last week, and I'm like, oh my God, just like, and this has nothing to do with Kaepernick. It's like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and also today for the New York Giants, it came out. Right guard Kevin Zeitler twitches before each snap. Is he tipping off plays?
God,
no,
I hate the offseason.
The dude's been doing it since he was literally in high school. They have footage of him. He does like a little thing where like when he sets, like he like wiggles a little bit to kind of like get into his position, and it's like this is he's been doing this literally for 20 years, and you think he's tipping off plays now? Like there's such grasping for straws.
You know that gif of Ryan Reynolds like grabbing his head, like, oh my God. That's what I'm doing. I hate the off season. I told you this is a little bit better than like, late July, early August now, just because you have something else. But I hate this. And you know what I really hate is how superficial it is, because it all goes away as soon as the ball's kicked off in week 1. Nobody talks about this crap anymore.
Yeah, no, it's like it's time to actually talk about actual football and like start focusing.
You know why the baseball offseason is so great? Because you're distracted. Nobody cares about the baseball offseason because you're watching football, hockey, and basketball. Yep. All right, guaranteed you're watching one of those other sports.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. You have the.
I hate this, Rich.
You have the commissioner meetings for like that one weekend. Not commissioner. The GM meetings. Where you have like some trades happening in the fall, but or the winter. But other than that, baseball's like we can truly take off because everybody else is going to fill up the sports void right now.
We should do that. We should do like horrible sports news. We should. In other news today, the Carolina Hurricanes released a new third jersey that has the word Canes on it. Fans lose their minds saying that it's horrible because everybody hates everything at first before they really look at it and realize like, it's not that bad. Example number 8 is Gritty, a fan base made orange more thing that people hated at first, but now they love. Really, kind of everyone loves them.
Everybody loves gritty.
Yeah, and if you don't love them, you don't know why you hate them, but you love them.
Yeah.
I love people that hate them. Like, you're talking about them, you like them.
Yeah. No, I hate
and
to
he's
admit it,
ours,
even as a
He
Rangers
belongs to
fan,
me.
I love gritty.
He's mine.
Yeah, no.
He's from my city.
okay.
It's the best thing since Rocky, Creed, Adonis Creed, and the 2018 Eagle.
I was gonna say, didn't you just win a Super Bowl 2 years ago?
Yeah,
I'm like,
and the 2008 Phillies. That's all I have. Leave me alone.
maybe it's the best thing your Flyers have had in a long time, but sorry, that was low. I'm sorry, Lee.
Ray, that hurt.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna hold my Bernie Perrant action figure. You can hear it now.
I know.
Hi, Bernie. This guy won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Look there
You
he
can
is.
see it
There's
on
Bernie.
YouTube.
Yeah, there's Bernie right there. Bernie Perrant. There you go, Ray.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You feel that? Yeah, I feel that. Burn. Anyway, listen. I want to get to the mashup because it's really good today.
Yes.
But we have to think of a better segue to get there. So,
Yeah.
before, don't mash up your head with an old helmet. I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, so I guess speaking of things that have gone by the wayside, similar to Bernie Perrant, because it's been forever since he's played.
You're a jerk, Ray. Hey, Ray, Lundqvist is never winning a cup. Feel it. He's never going to win, and he deserves it, and he's never going to win because of your stupid GM, who I love because he's won so many cups. I don't want to talk about this anymore, Ray.
Yeah, I know. It's the Rangers actually I think are going to be decent this year. I think the Rangers are going to be decent this
The
year.
problem is the Metropolitan Division is so stacked now. It's just tough.
That's the thing.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, you know that the two wild card seeds are definitely coming from the Metropolitan. I think.
Well, that, and then on top of it, the Devils and the Rangers respectively had the first and second pick.
Yeah,
I mean, and then, we're not Crosby, Ovechkin, Giroux. I mean, it just doesn't. Panarin doesn't end.
Can the Hurricanes replicate what they did last year?
Yeah,
I mean,
Islanders are good. I just it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great.
Yes.
It's just I don't know. It's funny to think about the days of the old Southeast Division where it was just Tampa every year.
Yeah,
because the division was so bad. Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry. Oh, hey, listen. Before we move on, can we just talk real quickly about Bryce Harper's walk-off grand slam?
Sure.
Yeah, it happened. That's all I wanted to say. No, listen. The Phillies are a funny team this time of year because we're definitely fighting for that wild card spot right now. And he hit this monster walk-off grand slam. Not something you see every day, to be fair.
No,
right?
A walk-off grand slam is not a regular occurrence.
It was awesome, right? And then he gets back, and the Phillies are charged up, and they sweep the series, and they're winning games. And then he leaves the game for dehydration, and we're losing again, which is the story of the Phillies season. Just hey, we're super good. We're going to do it. Oh, my God, we're injured. Okay, we're losing the streak. Okay, we're super good again. We're going to do it all year. Anyway.
Yeah, you guys are very streaky.
I need to vent for a minute. Anyway, mashup time.
Yes, back to the mashup time. So this week we're talking about, because we talked a lot about video games, we talked about sports games, and obviously talked about sports. There's a lot of great sports games and sports game franchises that no longer exist, that have gone by the wayside, that they've been retired. I mean, because basically we have NBA 2K, Madden, NHL, and The Show, which is a PlayStation exclusive. And that's it in terms of the four major sports. FIFA for soccer.
Yep.
2K, WWE 2K for wrestling, if you want to throw that in there.
UFC has a game, and WWE has a game. So we should throw those in there. Yeah.
Right. So it's basically, there's a monopoly on every sport. So there's only one game really for, I mean, they've tried to bring back NBA Live for EA, but it's not really done. It's not done well.
Nope.
But there used to be a time when there were tons of sports games. There were multiple sports games every year. Yes, you've had Madden now for 32 years, and you've had NHL for all those years. I mean, we always talk about, wax poetic about NHL 94 and whatnot, but, I mean, there was NHL 2K.
Yep.
There was NFL 2K. There was ESPN had sports games. So we're going to talk about some of the best ones, and the one that I want to mention for right off the bat is that some of the ones that used to feature just athletes super prominently on front and center. It used to be Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. It used to be Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. You used to have Joe Montana football.
That's right.
It used to be
Wayne
that athletes,
Gretzky hockey.
Yes. Oh yeah, Wayne Gretzky hockey in the late 90s.
Yeah, 3D.
You used to have the athletes used to sell the sports games, and that's really why you had Madden too. More than the sport itself did. So it's just those were some of my favorites growing up. Of course, obviously, yes, I loved NHL and I love Madden because they were so good.
Yeah,
but Ken Griffey Jr. baseball on N64. Oh
Yeah,
man, I put way too many hours into that one.
Yeah, right. We should also mention that at some points the PA, like NHL PA, had a game. It's called NHL PA Hockey. They put in their own game out because the rights had not been conjoined with the NHL yet at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those times too. And then there was also the other games that were kind of like the independent games that didn't really have any licensing. Like obviously Tecmo Bowl, right, and Tecmo Super Bowl. I mean, those are still fun to play. I mean, that was the first time. I don't know if they were licensed or not. I just know that they had the team names, like in terms of the city.
They had the cities and they had like the players, but they didn't have because you had Bo Jackson, of course, as for Oakland,
unstoppable, like weird time. And so you had Tecmo Bowl. Okay, then you also had Blades of Steel, which is another Konami game.
Yes.
Which they did try and bring back actually on the 64, but that time has come and gone for that. But that was a great early hockey release. Then you also have things like Punch-Out. I mean, which they've re-released that a few times. I mean, they had something on Wii with Punch-Out. I remember the Super Punch-Out.
They did the gimmick with the controllers that was
fun
and stuff. Yeah,
we might be due for another Punch-Out sometime soon. And then you got the obvious NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, and NHL Hits.
Yeah.
And then, again, if we're talking about bringing games out of retirement, what I'd love to see is ESPN make some games again. I don't think they ever will, obviously, because of licensing. But what was awesome about the ESPN, football, which has really become 2K now, right, or whatever. Right. But ESPN football and hockey really gave you a different perspective. Like I remember playing ESPN football and being in the quarterback's helmet.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that since, but it was really fun because it gave you a first-person perspective, and people didn't like it. I think because it was almost in a weird way realistic. Because I can't see the hits coming. It's like, exactly. That's the point. That's exactly the point. Or in, I remember in ESPN hockey, you could do the All-Star Skills competition. Yeah. We used to do that when I was in college on a hockey team. We used to actually do that instead of playing the games, which was really fun. You know what I mean? But I think if I had to bring a game out of retirement, like how many can we do? Is it just one? What are we gonna do?
I think we'll bring one out of retirement.
All right, I'm bringing back Blitz big time. I love that game. I love the horrendous violence of the game. Yeah. I love that it was NFL players. I mean, again, it's that NBA Jam era type atmosphere where the game didn't take itself too seriously. I mean, I'm bringing that back. I loved every second of that game.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to bring Blitz back like 8 years ago, and it just didn't work because it wasn't as over the top because the NFL was like, yeah, we don't want our players, like, we don't want late hits. We don't want, like, all this stuff in any game that's represented by the NFL. So,
Yes, we do, Ray. We do want late hits. Yes. We do want all of that stuff. That was the best part of the game. And, here's the thing. My attitude with that comment is this, and I know it's not your comment. My attitude with that type of talk is this. That's like blaming video games for violence. We all knew you couldn't do that. That's why it was so fun to do it.
Right, exactly. Okay? That's the point. You're missing. It's like you're missing the joke.
Yeah, like that was the best part about it. Like, you want to play that way, especially when you're playing your friend. Because here's the thing. No, you didn't you never got injured doing that.
No.
Like you know what I mean? It was just funny.
Yeah.
All right. It's like a fatality. Come on, man. Well, I'd bring that back.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's also the same thing. Like 30 yards for a first down. Like, I mean, it was every play was a bomb. Like, it's just ridiculous arcade football. Like,
it was fun. We had an arcade system in my high school. I used to play it with Doug Peterson every single day because I just couldn't not play with the Eagles for some reason. But that is the game that I am bringing back. I'm bringing back NFL Blitz. I think it would be an awesome game for today. Mm-hmm. I really do. Think about this. It's like, oh yeah, Antonio Brown's out because I have a helmet. Okay, that's a different thing. But yeah, I mean, the helmets in that game, man, they're the best helmets ever invented. I'll tell you that. Nobody got injured.
That's right. That's very true. For the game that I'm bringing back EA MVP Baseball. It was only around for a couple of years, but the couple of years it was around, it was easily the best baseball sim we had probably ever seen and for closely seen since. I mean, the show is very, very good, but most importantly, it was on all the systems.
It was.
Unlike the show.
The show, so if I'm not mistaken, MVP Baseball was actually originally Triple Play, correct?
I believe so.
I'm almost 100% EA made Triple Play and then they changed it to MVP because Triple Play was a good game too.
Yes.
It was also a really good show in the 2004 era on public access in Montclair, New Jersey, but we'll talk about that another time. But Triple Play and MVP Baseball are great. Now, here's the thing. That was one of, in my opinion, what's going on with the show might have been one of the biggest mistakes in console history. Exclusivity on a console. Yeah. I get why they did it. They're just late. They were way late, and the contract is too long. Yeah. Like I can't play, and the other games suck. They're not worth buying. They're not worth playing.
Yeah, RBI baseball is not good.
So I'm just saying, like one of the biggest missteps in the history of consoles, in my opinion.
Well, the thing is, and this is kind of like I talked again about the console consolidation, right? Is that the idea was that EA wanted the NFL exclusive rights. For them to have Madden and to be the only football game on the market, because they were feeling the heat from 2K, they had to give up baseball rights. So that 2K was the only company that could do baseball except first parties. That was the one caveat. 2K, they fell apart. Their baseball games fell apart. Then they stopped making them in 2009. They just they had, for EA, it was like, okay, cool, we have the exclusivity, but we're going to keep the quality up to here. 2K got lazy. They're like, we have exclusivity now. We can just kind of let it go and run itself, right? It's just every year, and it fell apart very quickly. And so that's why Sony was like, well, we need a good baseball game, so we'll just do it ourselves. And again, the other caveat was that, of course, Major League Baseball, they're the ones, MLB Advanced Media is the ones who do RBI baseball. That was the other caveat, was that if baseball itself wanted to do a game, baseball could obviously make a game, but Advanced Media, they're great for things like MLB.TV. They're not great right now at making video games.
So, Ray, real quick before I just looked up Nintendo baseball games.
Yes.
So, because I was thinking, like, oh, yeah, I remember Ken Griffey. Let me read some of these, because I forgot how many there were.
Oh, like bases loaded and stuff?
Bases loaded. But okay, so there was just baseball. They had that game. RBI baseball.
Right.
There's a game called Baseball Stars in '89.
Yeah.
Right? Now, here's where it gets funny. Baseball Simulator 1000. Base Wars 91, which is like a robotic baseball game. Here's one we forgot. Roger Clemens MVP Baseball.
Oh, wow.
Okay. There was the very popular and very simple title, but actually I love this game, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tecmo made a baseball game. Bad News Baseball. Super Baseball 2020. God, I love Nintendo game names. Bases Loaded 2, the second season. Super Bases Loaded. Now we're getting to the Super. You know what was a great game? What? Super Mario's Baseball. Mario Super Sluggers.
Yes, we used to play that in college.
We used to play that all the time. That was an awesome. There's a game that needs to come back.
Yeah.
We played that a lot. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah, the Mario sports games, like they still do tennis and golf, but bring back baseball and soccer too.
Yeah. Don't bring back the Olympics again every damn year.
I know, Mario and Sonic. We get it. We get it.
Yeah. The baseball was great, but with Mario. And then Bases Loaded had a third game. Extra Innings, Bo Jackson baseball, Little League baseball. It just gives you an idea. I'm still scrolling here. This is like,
I mean, there was
ESPN baseball,
there was
hardball,
Tommy Lasorda baseball, which was
Sega.
Sega.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the picture on that. Right, Super Bases Loaded 3, License to Steal.
Oh man,
that was a real game name. Frank Thomas, Big Hurt baseball. Oh my goodness, this is maybe a Legends of the Diamond, Super Batter Up. All right. The Bigs. Remember the Bigs?
Yes, the Bigs. Yes. Right. That was kind of like the Blitz or Hits version of baseball. Yeah.
Oh, here's one for you. The Sporting News Baseball.
Oh god.
Cal Ripken Jr. Baseball. There's a game here called Relief Pitcher.
Relief Pitcher.
This gives you an idea of like what I said about when everything's uniforming. There's at least 40 titles here, and they're all different. Legends of the Diamond. I want to play License to Steal. That sounds like a Bond movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wait, real quick before, should I do football or hockey or basketball?
Football.
All right, let's look up Nintendo football games. You ready?
Yeah.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Right.
NES Play Action Football.
Okay.
Funny enough, soccer came up. I get that. Mutant League Football. There's one.
Yeah,
10-yard fight. Super Play Action Football. Emmitt Smith Football. John Elway's quarterback.
Wow.
Oh, dude, I forgot. ABC Monday Night Football.
Yes.
NFL Quarterback Club on the 32X. Wow. Here's one. 1992. John Madden Football. 1993.
Yeah.
Right? Sterling Sharp end to end. I'd missed that one. Bill Walsh College Football.
Wow. Oh yeah. Oh, that's we didn't even mention that the NCAA football games are gone too. Like,
it's horrible. Troy Aikman NFL Football. College Football USA 97. Always got that there. NFL Quarterback. That's the game. NFL Quarterback.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Wow. Football Fury. Capcom's MVP Football.
Oh man. And now I'm thinking back. There was going back to other sports. NBA Courtside with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
All-Star Baseball with
Blood
Derek
Bowl.
Jeter. Like, geez. Oh man. There were so many folks. Again, the point is, the point of this matchup is that there were so many sports games that are gone.
Yeah.
Franchises. Some of them had License to Steal was like the third or fifth bases loaded game or whatever.
It might have been 4. I don't know. Who cares? Pro sport hockey. NHL Stanley Cup hockey. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop. I could keep going.
Yeah. No, exactly. We could be here all day. But, I mean, that's the thing is that, like, they're all gone. And now you have one sports game franchise, and that's it. And then, in a way, it's a good thing in a way, but it's a bad thing, too. And I think it's just the thing that the nice thing about this matchup is don't forget your history. Don't forget where a lot of these came from. There's a lot that went into – there was a lot that went into the modern consolidation of the sports genre in video games. And, it's –
Ray.
Yeah.
It's time. We have to put our developers' hats on and make Geeks Who Like Sports baseball.
That's genius.
It's just going to be 2 players, and all you do is have a catch.
Yeah.
While bitching about sports and geekdom. That's all it's going to be. Come on. I would buy that.
Yes.
Right? Who do you select as your number 1 character? Just you throw the ball.
Just throw the ball.
Just throw the ball. Anyway, listen, before we jump out of this episode, we should add that we have some bonus content that's being developed. Ray did his first Ray's review the other day. So Ray's going to start doing some game reviews. You can see that on the podcast, obviously on our YouTube channel, whichever is your choice. So just some like shorter options for you to listen to if you don't have time to listen to the full podcast. Obviously, if you've gotten to this point, you're one of those people that does. We appreciate that. Yep. Ray also did a really great interview with William Ho, of the NHL franchise, which we're going to share here this week. It's going to be a dual release here and on We Live Hockey, but just more content coming your way. I just want to mention that before Ray closes the show out.
So we got a lot of great, like Lee mentioned, a lot of great stuff happening. Again, still in aggressive expansion mode. Definitely check out definitely check out the Ray review audio. Video will be up shortly. Or will be up by the time you listen to this. We've got, like the William Ho interview for creative director of NHL. A lot of fun, really good. I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy it.
We asked some hard questions. Yeah, we didn't go easy on him. We asked him some real legit questions. He had some good answers, too, to be fair. He made me think about some things I hadn't thought about. Like building this game in 12 months is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, no, I think he had a lot of good points. I mean, obviously, we talked about the new stuff in the game as well. But yeah, and of course, again, 10 days till PAX West. Come by the panel. But this has been another great episode of Geeks Who Like Sports. Please email us, geekswholikesports@gmail.com. Go to the website, geekswholikesports.com. The Facebook group, Twitter, Geeks Who Like SP1. Also Instagram. Lee, anything else? You got any closing thoughts from you, my friend?
If you want to find us, you can find us.
Yeah. We're just literally on every podcast service.
Tell your friends.
Now, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. So this was a great discussion. This is a great one. Again, stay tuned for that special content later in the week. And for Lee, I'm Ray, and this has been Geeks Who Like Sports, episode number 19.